can we make love abound in our homes during this season where we don't always feel like loving everyone in our families?
Well, I actually have a saying that I use in my classroom. I teach pre-K 2 days a week, and I use it in my home as well. And I say, it's the verse in First Corinthians, but it's let all that you do be done in love. And so for myself, for my children, it's a quick heart check that you can say really easily. Like if someone's acting in a way that they shouldn't, or if I'm being impatient, you just quickly ask yourself, like, or you can just say, let all that you do, and they'll call back to you, be done in love. And just a quick way to remind them without calling them out on their behavior, like, hey, we need to be showing love. And so I think that's an easy way to remind ourselves. But as far as like action, I think that something that Sean and I do, we try to do it pretty frequently really, is to actually ask our kids, like, how do you feel loved? And so like, even for Emery, the last time we asked her, I said, like, finish this sentence. I feel loved when mommy, because saying, how do you feel loved? She's like, what, And so having her finish that sentence and, whatever it may be, when she plays with me, or if I ask Elliot, how do you know that mommy loves you? She tickles me, or whatever it is. And so hearing from them, because the way that I want to love them, they might not feel love. Ethan, my oldest, he doesn't want me to tickle him. He's 9. He's not going to feel super loved when I do that, but there's other ways that he'll verbalize to me. And so I think hearing from each of them, because they're all so different, when you have more than one kid, you have to love them differently. I mean, you love them with the same love, but you show that in different ways. And so just making sure that we're looking to meet that need for that in particular, that child in particular. And I do think that touch is so important. I think that as parents, especially when all of a sudden we're all home together all the time, it's easy to kind of go throughout your day and never stop and hug somebody. He's not coming home from work and saying, oh, daddy's home, and we're hugging him and we're loving him. And so just making sure that we have those moments throughout the day where we're wrestling, the boys are wrestling with Sean or whatever, or I just scoop Emery up and hold her for a minute while we read a book, just making sure that we have those like physical touch times, whether it's tickling or wrestling or hugging or kissing, whatever it may be. I think that kids thrive off of that. They need that safe, appropriate physical touch from their parents. And so trying to make sure that that's happening, even though you feel like we're all day long around each other, surely that's meeting that need. I think that there needs to be like the hand on the shoulder, the hug, the embrace, or whatever it might be. So I think that love abounds when there's that like show of physical affection for sure. And that's a trigger in their brain. And then right now we have like huge time and space for one-on-one attention with kids. Sean's a couple of times taking one kid on a walk instead of everybody go on a walk. And that's harder to do whenever you're, getting so-and-so to basketball and so-and-so, running all your different places. Sometimes it's hard to find time for each parent to get one-on-one time with kids. But I feel like right now we just have an abundance of that time. And so that's a great way to be able to show Elliot the kind of love that he needs from his mom, just him, or Emery or Ethan, just getting that one-on-one attention and able to show them love and how they feel it best in a one-on-one scenario, I think is something that right now parents, I know that we are really trying to take advantage of, because they just eat that up, any time that it's just all about them is so good for their heart. So just striving to take advantage of those opportunities.
Yeah. And there's also even, I don't know why I always come back to times when I've blown it as a dad, but I certainly can reflect back, and even when it's maybe a backdoor way into love, but I think in asking forgiveness and coming alongside them, and and we talked about that in one of the other episodes of Faith to Faith Parenting, but is just being honest, honesty, being honest and sincere, and asking forgiveness is a really shows that there's a love relationship here. You just, I care about you so much that I need to say this to you. And so anyway.
Yeah, I think what that does for me. And I think what that does for them is it's like a different level of intimacy, you know, like they realize like, oh, my mom is like, she loves me enough to say that to me, to admit that to me. You know, I think that just raises the level of like, she trusts me, she respects me. And that's just a mutual thing there whenever you're willing to say, yep, I just messed up. I could have done that better. You know, it's so, so good.
Yeah. Amen. Thank you all.